One may argue that I've been laying low recently, which isn't fully true. I've just been very busy these past few months, especially December. But during that time, during the few minutes I've had spare here and there, I've been very observant to what's going on with Battlefront 2. I won't lie, it was probably the worst time ever for me to go inactive on YouTube because has the Battlefront community blown up? Has that Celebration Edition brought in so many players? I don't think I've ever seen this many people back. I don't think I've ever seen this many people interested in Star Wars Battlefront 2. And the last time I spoke to you all, I told you that Ahsoka and other female heroes aren't coming to the game, and while a lot of people were very disheartened by that, it is looking to be the sad truth. Now, why did I tell you all I've been being very observant recently? Well, that's because I do like to keep my eye on what's going on with Battlefront 2, but not only that, we all know at this point that I get a lot of my predictions right because I really kind of study what's going on and I know where we're at with the game most of the time. So while I don't get everything right, most of my predictions are usually right. I hate to sound like I'm floating my own boat, but they are. And ever since this just growth in the community recently, a lot of people have been posing the question, where does Battlefront 2 go in 2020? It's confirmed to have support in 2020. Where do things go from there? And we know we're getting BB-8 and BB-9E in January, like it or not, we know that's coming. We also know 2 maps, Jakku and Agent Kloss, are coming to Capital Supremacy for the sequel era. And what else is coming? That's right, Clone Wars is back in February, unless you're in the UK, where we don't even have The Mandalorian officially yet, unless you've been watching illegal websites that supply you with The Mandalorian, which I have definitely not. But after January, where are things going? Well, in February, I am crossing out Ahsoka and Ventress coming to this game. Alright, you don't have to take my word if you don't want to. I could be wrong, I'm not saying I'm right all the time. But judging by the comments I discussed in my last video, and judging by the fact that, well, we thought we were going to get them last year, and now it's looking more unlikely than ever that they're going to arrive with the relaunch of the Clone Wars, so I doubt it's ever going to happen. I'm crossing out Ahsoka and Ventress not just in February of 2020, but for the entire year and maybe even the entire future. I'll cross 2021 when we get to it, and I've got another 12 months to worry about that. Realistically, I think they're going to have Capital Supremacy on 5 maps for each era. We've got that with the prequels. We've got Naboo, Kashyyyk, Kamino, Felucia, and Geonosis. We're going to have, by the time of January, Jakku and Agent Kloss for the sequels. Yes, I do believe Crate, Starkiller Base, and Takodana will come. There's been a bit of skepticism around Starkiller Base and Crate, but I do think they'll arrive. I think they'll find a way to do it, and I don't think they're going to spare the sequel content because it's going to really unbalance Capital Supremacy in terms of what area you're getting. Do I think in March we're just going to rush right in to original trilogy Capital Supremacy, which, although it's not being confirmed, we all pretty much know it's coming. There's an empty slot in the game waiting for it. I don't think we're going to rush into March with original trilogy Capital Supremacy in the slightest bit. The guys over at DICE have made several comments about the villains needing skins, about that this is a priority, and I do think that's where things will be taken next. Now, I will say straight away, do I think we're going to get Cyborg Darth Maul? And the reason I bring this one up is because, my god, have the modders done an excellent job with this Cyborg Darth Maul. It's absolutely incredible. The whole community, I think, has seen it at this point. It looks like official content until you realise that that's never going to come into the game. Look, I don't think we're going to get that skin. I think a battle damage Vader is possible, not to the extent that the modders have created. I think maybe just the kind of shattered helmet that we see in Star Wars Rebels, and maybe his voice may sound a bit off, but that's possible for Vader. I think Hooded Maul is possible. Maybe even Solo Maul, although he's still got the robotic legs. I feel there's more way around that than the legs he has in this recently released Darth Maul mod from the Clone Wars Season 4. But I think Hooded Maul is no doubt coming. I think Prisoner Bosk, judging by things they've done with like Pajamas, Dooku, and things like that, I do think that Prisoner Bosk is likely, considering he's got like no other skins. I think Episode 3 Palpatine, it's something they're capable of doing, they know it's possible. If not Episode 3 Palpatine before he's deformed, I definitely think we'll see him in the red robes after he's deformed. Will Boba Fett get a skin? Look, at this point, each hero now Finn's got one, each hero has a skin. It's possible we'll see a skin for every single villain. That could mean a battle damaged Phasma, which I think they're more than capable of doing once again there. But time will tell, but I do believe March will be the skins for the villains. Then in April, I think we're going to get our first look at capital supremacy for the original trilogy. We'll definitely get reinforcements with this. Royal Guards, the Rebel Honor Guards, which are in the files. I've spoken about this a few times on the channel as well. I definitely think they'll be coming to the game. I think Botham Spies and Shadow Troopers will come to the game. They're my 4 predictions for the reinforcements. The Honor Guards, the Royal Guards, the Botham Spies, and the Shadow Troopers. I think we'll start off with Endor and Yavin when it comes to capital supremacy, and that will be in April. Then I believe they'll do something very similar that they did with the prequel maps. And in May, I believe we'll get Hoth. In June, I believe we'll get the Death Star. And in July, I believe that we will get Tatooine. And that will be our 5 sequel maps done. Now, it is possible as well that July may not see any content in the game because that's how it's been for a long time. In July, we might get those Dooku and Anakin voice lines that were in the files, a bit similar to the voice line challenges we got in July last year. I think they could do something like that, so maybe we'll end up getting 2 capital supremacy maps in 1 month. But moving on to August, I believe the Imperials will get some customization in August. Shadow Troopers I think are going to be reinforcements. I believe the Shock Troopers will be skins. I believe we'll get the different coloured pauldrons for the Stormtroopers, which we saw in Battlefront 1. The Death Star Troopers are a possibility as well. Maybe some different faces for the officers again, who knows. We might get officer armour as another thing, but August I think will be Imperial customization. And honestly, if I was to predict after that, I do think Battlefront 2's support will be over by the end of 2020, or maybe they'll finish it off with 2020. This isn't me saying like the game's not doing well enough to continue support or anything like that, but I do feel EA will want to move on to a more profitable Star Wars experience from that point on. Fallen Order is obviously not being as profitable post-launch because there's no post-launch content with it. And I think that's another issue with Battlefront 2, that by then the Celebration Edition will nearly have been out a year, no one's going to care at that point. I do think we could possibly see Jyn Erso and Director Krennic from Battlefront 1, maybe Nien Nunb and Greedo with Scarif maybe from the campaign, or Vardos, and I believe that's how we'll finish off the year. I don't think we're going to see Mandalorian content. I just feel it would spark too much of a debate between whose side does the Mandalorian go on. There'd be people asking for Baby Yoda and then getting mad if it didn't happen. So I don't know, I don't want the support to finish, but I do believe a new Star Wars game will be revealed, or a tease or something will come September, October time, and I think that might be it. Hey, I could be wrong, but that's my prediction. I feel there's a very high chance of things going that route, and like I've said, not to float my own boat, but I do get these predictions right most of the time, and that's why with something like Ahsoka Ventress, which me, myself, and so many other people have continuously got wrong, I think it is about time to admit now that Ahsoka and Ventress isn't coming, and I pray that in like a month's time this comment is getting memed upon because she's in the game. Like, I really wouldn't be complaining if how I've said things are going to go here go differently, as long as they go differently in a positive way. But I'm not getting my hopes up for Lady Tano, I'm not getting my hopes up for Asajj Ventress. And that is where we shall end the video, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. More videos, more streams on the way. I'm back on track now for this new year, and I do apologise for my inactivity because I know it was a crucial time for this game and I let a lot of people down, but it's just a very busy period for me in real life, and I want to put that stuff first. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I do hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you all next time.